We've got a bit of a debate here. Karen and Jay's story got us thinking with all the skin on show over the bank holiday. Do you ever get offended by a naked stranger? Is it all too much to bear?
Or two women on opposite sides of the argument are Deborah Hodge and Angela Epstein, and they join us now. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
So, Deborah, let's start with you first of all, because you think that actually being naked doesn't need to be such a controversial thing.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the story we've just heard, they're in their own home and they're going about their business, and I wonder what lengths their neighbour saw to actually see them naked.
Right.
So absolutely, these are our bodies, and
so you
you
can see something like that. You walk past in the street, you look up and think, oh, got any clothes on. You can either walk past and continue to look and then get gradually more outraged as you see, or you can avert your eyes and carry on with your day. Why would that neighbour be so rude?
Well, I think it's probably become quite an inflammatory issue because, as the couple said, because of the way it's been handled, excuse the pun. You raised the bets there, Phillip, wasn't me. But I have to be careful with this one. But in all seriousness, first of all, yes, the human body is beautiful and there's nothing disgusting about it, and but it's quite an intimate thing. And I just find it really embarrassing and arrogant and actually selfish when people foist their nudity onto others. Now, you could argue that they're in the privacy of their own home, but they're not being private because they didn't close their blinds or pull their curtains down, and therefore...
Why should they need to?
Because I think it's...
Don't peep through their window.
Well, then don't behave in such a way as people can see it. And I think it plays to the whole issue of kind of topless sunbathing. And, I mean, there are designated areas where people can enjoy their nudity, naturist beaches, for example. But if everybody walked around stark naked, like the famous naked hitchhiker, naked rambler, then I think it's very unfair. And I think it's actually quite disturbing. If you were out with your kids and there was a sort of a naked bloke walking along, you might feel a bit compromised. I mean, you two are not presenting the show naked. It probably would be good for ratings.
I don't know. But do you think the problem is that sort of being naked has become sexualised, which is why that people have an issue with it?
Yes, absolutely. And the media has got quite a bit to do with that, sexualising young girls. But if we think about breasts, for example, I don't think we're talking about naked men walking down the street, but in this case, they're in their own home. But if we talk about women's breasts, they serve a function, they feed children, and I think there is, the media does sexualise them with the push-up bras.
Everything on your body serves a function, so you could argue it the same way as a, naked man walking down the street saying, well, you can see it,
I
serves
think
a
there
function.
is a time and a place, like you say. I mean, we wouldn't want to see people walking around the studio here naked, but in the privacy of their garden, in their home,
but they weren't
on
being
a beach.
private. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it is their home. But so, for example, if you play really loud music in your house, it's my home, I can ramp up the volume if I want to, but it's having an impact on the people that live around us. And I think the problem is, as a society, without sounding too highbrow and trying to move away from all those puns, we've become quite socially selfish. Because there is a kind of almost bloody-mindedness, in this case, it's my body, why shouldn't I do with it what I want, without thinking about societally how we think about other people and how they feel about it. I mean, when you were in your back garden, I mean, you could probably sell tickets for that, but I don't know.
I did.
I know.
300 people in that garden.
The helpline had gone off the stratosphere when I tried to get through. But I mean, I don't know how sort of exposed you were to the general public.
No, I wasn't at all.
Exactly. So, but
having
you see
said,
what I mean?
Yeah, I do see what you mean, but there is a big difference in your point about walking down the street, or it's a different discussion if you're in a park or whatever. This is in your own home, and you say, some people are getting a little bit more socially, sort of whatever, say what you like. But often, a lot of people are just becoming socially outraged. Everybody's cross, everybody's angry about everything. Yeah. You see a naked body in the window and then you've got to write a note. Like, get over yourself.
There's definitely, I think definitely there is a kind of a theme of militancy that goes through a lot of things about cyclists, dog walkers, people that breastfeed in public, a lot of the subjects we've discussed previously on this programme. But I think in this instance, for example, if I'm getting changed in my bedroom, and I couldn't sell tickets for this, I would close the blinds, and they'd all say, thank God, because you'll frighten the horses. But seriously, and I just think a little bit of sensitivity to their neighbours.
I'm just looking down here at the comments we've had so far. Michelle says there's nothing wrong with being naked, but maybe just pull the curtains close. Sally said you should be able to do what you want in your own home. The neighbours looking in are probably just jealous. I looked down, actually, most people are saying if you can't get naked in your own house, well, how ridiculous.
Final word.
Yeah.
How would you like to conclude this discussion?
Well, I think we're on different sides of the fence, but we do agree that...
You couldn't sit
Not
on the
the
fence
old
on this one.
garden. No.
That would be too painful.
You know, there is a time and a place. Outside the home, yeah, you know, that does need discussion. But in your own home, I mean, I'm regularly naked and, yeah, I'm not an exhibitionist, but...
I'll skip the invitation to afternoon tea.
That's all right.
If you don't mind.